Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
This is from the Canadian Press. You tell me what you think of the wording of this. Goalie Dylan Guerin and center Kent Johnson headline Canada's World Junior Team. Hockey Canada named its full roster for the rescheduled Under-20 World Championship slated to begin on August 9th in Edmonton. 19-year-old Guerin was a member of Canada's junior team who won silver at the 2021 Worlds. And I'm sitting there going, who wrote this? Have you heard of Connor McBedard? How is he not the headline of the story? Because we all know it. I went and looked at the World Junior roster, and it looks pretty good. We're going to be there. You're not. But I can't wait for the tournament. And what more is to be said? We had Dylan Guerin on this show, Kamloops Blazers goaltender. I hope that he carries the mail this time for Canada in this tournament. Connor Bedard broke Gretzky's single goals record, for the love of Pete. It should be Connor Bedard and Team Canada were named on. Should it not?
I think so. Well, and to be fair, that's the Canadian Press. Every notification that I got, whether it was from the Score app, TSN app, it was Connor Bedard headlines Canada's 23-man roster or 25-man roster announced, whatever day it was. It was Connor Bedard. It should be. I mean, he's the lead story, and not just that we're proud of him and he plays on God's team. He's the headliner for Team Canada for sure.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
The trade has gone down. The San Diego Padres are finalizing a deal to acquire superstar outfielder Juan Soto.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It was a big piece, and I know that Jays fans are just waiting for the team to do something. I'd say be patient, but this team is also trending in the right direction as it is.
Keep Juan Soto out of the American League East, and the Blue Jays can deal with him come World Series time. How about that?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, Canada, Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show. As you see, we're back in the bunker, new environs. What's new to you is that we're actually in a new studio and almost a new building, and you're seeing a new yet old face. How about familiar, not old? The very young Kelly Remple. How you doing, Rems?
Well, I'm feeling young.
You should be.
I'm feeling young. It's been a great summer, to be honest with you. Having lots of fun. Loving it.
Everybody's excited to have you here, and I'm not joking when I say it, but for our new viewers, it's been a while since Rems has been on, and I will run through your resume, if you will. We only have 2 hours.
Okay.
Former WWF promoter, Bret Hart's manager, the excellence of execution, marketing man to the stars, Moose Jaw Warriors, Regina Pats, CTV Stales, now you're financial planner, you're in the clothing industry. Is there anything you don't do, Silver Fox?
Chasing my kids around playing sports. That's like number one.
That's your thing right now.
That's my thing right now. That's what takes up most of my time and loving every second of it.
Good. Well, his nickname is the Silver Fox, and go follow him on Twitter right now. Isn't it at Silver Fox? Talks. Not
Correct.
Rocks, but it probably should be Rocks. So Rems is with us for all of hour one. Darren's out in Eastern Canada riding the train, the last that I saw. I'm putting this here. Until they pay for it, we're not putting it. You know what I mean?
I don't blame you.
Yeah. Until they pay for the logo, we're not putting it on there. Rems with us for all of hour one. The esteemed Robert Vanstone, the award-winning columnist from the Leader Post media newspaper chain, will be with us in hour two.
The man, the myth.
And his dog, Candy.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. And the voice of the Regina Pats and a real Blue Jays aficionado, Diamond Dante Caria.
How about that?
He loves baseball, that guy.
That's his thing.
You could sit there with Dante, and everything comes back to baseball. He loves it.
Yeah.
He's a scout. Did you know that?
For who?
I think he kind of freelances himself. I've been walking out of Pat's TV with that guy in February. And his phone starts ringing, and he says, hang on a second, Foxy, he says, and he gets on his phone. He goes, yeah, shortstop, right-hander. I'll say, who was that? Oh, it's some guy from the Winnipeg Gold, or like, some obscure team wanting to get a beat on guys. Like, it's unbelievable.
He's a baseball guy, but he's also the voice of God's team, the Regina Pats, which, again, we'll get into the meat and potatoes here in a second. But is my Pats puck? It's upside down. Nobody noticed?
Oh,
I noticed.
no.
I was going to fix it, actually.
Well, as Doug Sauter would say, some people are talkers and some people are doers. You were going to do it. Thanks, Rems.
Had it been a Warrior puck, I would have moved it immediately.
We've been populating this desk with paraphernalia that we could find around the place. So an Ilya Kovalchuk bobblehead, a DeLorean.
Vladdy?
It's a real eclectic bunch. So that's kind of a roadmap of what's going on. Remple in hour 1, Vanstone in hour 2, and Dante to Caria later in hour 2. Can we hit the Quick Six Show horn, please, Director? Here we go from Wayne in Victoria. I'm happy to see Kelly back on the RP show. From Dante to Caria. He says, Silver Fox, great lineup. Everybody's excited. So let's get down to it. Number 1, starting with baseball, as a matter of fact, Juan Soto is set for his San Diego debut at home against Colorado later today. Before the game, the Padres will hold a news conference to introduce Soto on his first day with the team. The 23-year-old outfielder was acquired from Washington in a blockbuster deal before Tuesday's trade deadline. He joins a lineup anchored by all-star third baseman Manny Machado that expects to get flashy shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. back from injury soon. So Juan Soto makes his Padres debut today. I'm moving on to point 2. The Toronto Blue Jays got second baseman Whit Merrifield in a trade with the Kansas City Royals yesterday. It's unclear if Merrifield plans to be vaccinated against COVID-19 in order to play in Canada. But they also fortified their bullpen by adding Anthony Bass and Zach Pop in a deal with the Miami Marlins. The Brewers added reliever Trevor Rosenthal in a trade with San Francisco. Jays won 3-1 in Tampa Tuesday night. Listen, there's been all kinds of analysis. I do want to get to the World Juniors and hockey talk and the CFL and the NFL. Kelly can talk about it all. And you're seeing the networks in Canada are rife with Blue Jays commentary, which they should be. And you're a huge Blue Jays fan.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you feel about these moves?
Well, to be completely honest, I was a little underwhelmed by it. I mean, they made moves, but they didn't do anything that would have tightened the gap between, say, them and Houston or the New York Yankees. In fact, those teams made moves. I think they've widened the gap. I clearly think that the best two teams, that what you're going to see in the final is going to be the Astros and the Yankees. But you know what? The games are still played on the field, just like in hockey, they're played on ice. What you see on paper doesn't always translate, especially in the postseason. I thought the Blue Jays were going to get, I really, and I'm sure they tried, but what I was kind of looking for was adding another starter, another genuine bona fide starter. I wasn't expecting that they were going to get somebody that was going to get Gossman or Barrios type money. I didn't think they'd go that far. But, just adding that fifth. I mean, I like Kikuchi. I think he's okay, but he's not what they need, somebody as a fifth starter that's going to go out and give them a legitimate chance to get 5, 6, 7 innings. Like a workhorse type of starter is what I was kind of thinking that they were going to do, but it didn't happen. So obviously the prices were a little high. So I was a little underwhelmed, but at the same time, I'm pretty optimistic that they're playing better baseball here the last while. It wasn't looking great there. I remember thinking after the Seattle series, like, what the heck is going on here with this team? They couldn't seem to fire on all those cylinders. But since then,
that was the last real bump.
Yeah, it was.
And Charlie Montoyo didn't last a week.
No, after that.
Yeah.
And so there was obviously something there that, somebody, Ross Atkins or somebody, Shapiro, somebody in that organization identified, like, there's, it's Schneider time, right? We need somebody that's going to add a little, get guys going a little bit more. Charlie was such a laid back, calm, relaxed guy. John's, I think, got a little more edge. Schneider.
Mm-hmm. Well, clearly.
Yeah. So.
Bo Duke.
Yeah, John Schneider, just a good old boy.
Exactly. I don't know what it is. I mean, I thought Charlie Montoyo should have. I was upset when they gave him an extension in the offseason, thinking, what has he done? They gave him that extension, and then he didn't even last a year afterwards. So, hey, here's what I like. And one thing, a lot of our Eastern viewers are far more into the Blue Jays than Western Canada. But this guy right here, even when the Blue Jays were junk 10 to 15 years ago, you were PVRing games, right? And watching them all. You watch every game. You probably don't anymore.
No, I actually do. I
you?
I do DVR the games, and I watch them. Like last night, as an example, I was running my son around, and so I got to watch the first 4 innings, and then I came home and I watched the rest. I enjoy doing that. And here's the thing, Rod. Full confession. I find it really difficult at this time of year, once you start getting into after the All-Star break, when they're so far out of the playoff picture that the FBI can't find them. I have a hard time motivating myself to go that far, to go to those kinds of lengths to keep up. But this is fun. This is fun.
Yeah, well, the game last night was 1-0 Blue Jays into the 9th.
Right.
And did you watch it? And they got a couple of runs, which provided enough support to win the game, and Bob's your uncle, and they're exciting. They're fun to watch. They've been fun to watch for the last couple of years.
Romano came in. If it would have still been tied, well, you don't know what. Maybe he would have thrown a different pitch, but they would have tied the game, right? Because they hit a home run in the bottom of the 9th. But because they got that support, that base hit that drove in those 2 runs, they give themselves a chance. My mom actually, coincidentally, I just got a text from her here a couple minutes ago. She's in Estevan, Saskatchewan, just about to cross into the U.S. Their bunch of Moose Jaw people got a bus, and they're going to Minneapolis for the Twins series on the weekend. My mom would have been the last person I ever thought in a million years would go on a Blue Jays trip. But one of her friends said, hey, let's go watch the Blue Jays and play the Twins, and she's on that bus.
Always kind of wanted to do that. So can you tell her that Rod's jealous? Would you mind?
I will.
Appreciate that.
I will.
Good for beautiful lady.
But
great lady.
Yeah, I agree. She's a saint, no doubt about it. Same with the Caria's mom. Good people. But, my bucket list, I got to do that Seattle trip one day.
Looks like fun, doesn't it?
And apparently the Blue Jays fans just, you go eat breakfast at a hotel in the morning, and every Blue Jay fan literally wears their jerseys, whatever, from Thursday night right until after the game on Sunday. The whole downtown is just a sea of blue.
Isn't it something what the Blue Jays have done?
Yeah.
Hey, so we're moving on. There's our Blue Jays analysis. We've got a wonderful new partner. The 163rd running of the Queen's Plate is taking place on Sunday, August 21st at Woodbine. A day full of the best Canadian thoroughbred racing, great fashion, amazing food, and loads of fun. Get your tickets today at woodbine.com or play along with Woodbine's Dark Horse Bets app, available for Android and Apple devices. Moving along to football in its NFL variety. We'll save the bulk of the second segment for CFL talk. The NFL has suspended Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross and fined him $1.5 million for tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton following a 6-month investigation stemming from Brian Flores' racial discrimination lawsuit against the league. I'm not sure how much you're following this, Kelly. I've been following it quite a bit, and I'm interested in your take no matter how much you're following it or not. The NFL's investigation found the Dolphins did not intentionally lose games during the 2019 season, which is what Flores accused them of. But the team had impermissible communication with Tom Brady and his and Peyton's agent, Don Yee. The Dolphins forfeit a first-round pick next year and a third-round pick the year after, and the owner's suspended until October 17th. And you say, you're suspending an owner, what's he do? Well, we'll get to that. The investigation concluded the Dolphins violated the league's anti-tampering policy on 3 separate occasions. The Dolphins said impermissible communications with Brady going back as early as August of 2019 when he was a Patriot. Those discussions focused on Brady becoming a limited partner in the Dolphins, like an owner, and possibly serving as a football executive, although at times they also included the possibility of Tom playing for the Dolphins. The league says the owner, Stephen Ross, participated in these discussions. So, we talk about owners on this show a lot, Kelly, and I think more than any other talk show in the world, and I think it's because we know, and you know because you've been around the block, the owners are the guys that stir the drink. They are. They are. They prefer to sit back and not necessarily be in the media, but they're calling all the shots.
Well, it's their team.
Right. But to a degree, here's an example of that. And here's my take, man. Because as you know, I got friends in all the leagues. This tampering goes on with every single team at all levels. It does, and don't tell me I'm wrong. And this is what my sense is. They're like, we can't get them on the racial stuff, but we can get them on this. So we're nailing them for that. You know what I mean? It happens all the time. That's the sense, or maybe not even the racial stuff. We couldn't prove that you tanked games. We couldn't prove it. And I was in Miami when this was all going on, and they were going through with a fine-tooth comb, Kelly, through all the games at the end going, was this coaching decision by Flores to tank the game, or is it just a bad coaching decision? You know what I mean? And they couldn't prove.
No, I don't. I believe that. Here's what I think about that. I believe that the owner absolutely may have gone to the coach and said, you know, if we don't try real hard, let's just say that we were to lose a game, and that moved us in the draft position, that would probably be a pretty good thing for our organization, don't you think? But I don't believe for a second that the coach actually went so far as to toe the line on that. I want to believe, maybe I'm naive. I don't believe that happened, but I absolutely believe that the owner may have planted the seed that he wanted it to happen. Because this is the same guy that's doing all this other stuff. He's clearly coloring outside the lines on all of these different issues. So what's so hard to believe that he would have tried to convince his coach to maybe try not quite so hard to win this game. But coaches are not wired that way. And you've also been around the block long enough to know that coaches aren't going to go for that.
Lose on purpose.
That's a stink that you could never wash off your hand if you're a coach. And I don't think that coaches, they're neurotically obsessed with winning every single game. What does that coach really care? How good the team is going to be 3 or 4 years from now?
Because it's on his record. It's on his record.
Yeah,
right?
He wants to win.
2-14 is better than 1-15.
Yeah,
in their mind.
It's a pride thing.
I'm glad that you took the coach's angle on it. But with the owners, I'm not going to say the team, and you would know what it was. But I get a guy like Stephen Ross. They got more money than God, so they think they can do whatever they want.
Well, they think they are God,
right? And they're like, I want Tom Brady and I want Sean Payton, so I'm going to go get him. And it actually happens, folks. And they don't have a regard for the rules or the bylaws. Because I remember sitting around with some NHL owners, and they literally were like this. We're going to get Sidney Crosby. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, yeah, we are. We're going to fly him out here. As soon as it's free agency, and we're going to show him a good time, and we're going to sign him. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. They thought that they could, and incidentally, they didn't. Well, Sid stayed there forever.
The most common.
We have 1 minute.
Yeah, the most common effective way that I've seen or heard coaches able to or organizations able to plant the seed with players that don't maybe think about coming here without actually tampering is through the players.
Sure.
So
it happens. How you do it is one.
Yeah, the player will go to the other player and says nothing illegal with the player phoning the other player that his team is courting, and saying, "Hey, why don't you come here?"
Yeah, exactly.
Players do it through players.
From
not
our
owners.
Viewers, Craig Smith, our director of scouting, whom we were talking about, Kelly, how long ago?
I don't know, 3 minutes before we went on the air.
Yeah, we were talking about
Craigie
you, Smitty.
Smith.
Our director of scouting says, nice to see you all back in the bunker. And he says, your mom has got to get to the big mall down there, the Mall of America. So make the plan of that. I got a story about the Mall of America.
I've been there 2 or 3 times
it's
myself.
It's a great spot.
I took a page out of your book, took my son to the Hooters there last time we were there.
That is some great parenting right there.
Hell yes.
We'll be 10. Back with a heck of a lot more. We got the Silver Fox with us in the house. Everybody loves it. It's the RP show. This is the warm-up. You're watching on the Game Plus television network. We're also live streaming on YouTube. And we got 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is, and we're back in the bunker, and we're having a great time. And we're brought to you in part by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. I guess it was a mini rant last segment. This is the guy that's better known for rants. But they're brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating and Cooling. As you see, find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. I'll be spending some time with those Cowboys later on this week. Moving on in our quick 6.4 in Calgary, Andrew Mangiapane of the Calgary Flames was rewarded for setting career highs in goals, assists, and points this past season. The Flames signed the 26-year-old forward to a 3-year contract worth $17.4 million. We'll circle back around on the Flames with the Rems because I think a lot of people want your CFL takes. He had career high last year in goals, 35, assists, 20, and points, 55 during the season. In the playoffs, he had 3 goals and 3 assists in 12 games. I said to Lanny last week, Rems, how do you say Mangiapane? And Lanny goes, I don't. I say Andrew or number 88.
He's been a good player for them.
Okay, where are the Flames going? You follow them because your buddy Lou, your best friend's the broadcaster.
Where are they going?
Well, are they going to be better, worse, stay the same?
You know what? That's a good question. I thought they'd come out of the Huberdeau trade with Tkachuk very well. I don't know how the heck they pulled that one off. You would think that Florida would have had more leverage, and they ended up, in my personal opinion, the Flames won that deal. I would say to you, Rod, that I think they're kind of destined to probably have about a 100-point season.
That's pretty good.
Sort of, yeah, I think so. But I do think that the Oilers are going to be the best team in the division. I think the Oilers are definitely going in the right direction. Flames will probably be about as good as they were last year, maybe a step or two back. But I see the Flames being about, to be honest with you, I just see them being about where they were. I don't think that you're going to see them take a giant step forward. But I also don't think that they've taken a huge giant step backward either. I think that they are what they are. But they're, Johnny's tough to replace. You've kind of replaced him with Huberdeau, right? You're like a setup guy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Here's a team that's already at times challenged to score. I mean, they're great defensively. But we saw in the playoffs what happens, when they have to come from behind. The greatest thing they had going for them last year is they didn't have to play from behind very often.
They're up a lot.
They were always winning after the first period.
Well, I'll say this. I spent enough time in Calgary to assimilate, but I could still be detached enough to look at things from 30,000 feet. And I'll say this about Tkachuk and Gaudreau. You guys had a great season. You won the pennant with two guys that clearly didn't want to be there. So we found that out after the fact. Tkachuk in the playoffs clearly didn't want to be there. So what are you going to do with guys that do want to be there? I think it's going to be better. So moving on, Edo Japan. They're with us. Edo Japan's fast and friendly.
I love that place.
Oh, it's so good. Edo Japan's fast and friendly service plus online ordering options are easy and convenient when you're on the go. Edo Japan, get you some today. Oh, we leave Grey Eagle Resort and Team Canada shows up at Grey Eagle. This is where they're having their training camp. They began preparations yesterday, Tuesday, for the 2.0 edition of the 2022 World Juniors, which will be in Edmonton. The host country starts the tournament August 9th to 20th. That's the dates of the tourney. Canada opens August 10th against Latvia. It's a 10-country tournament minus Russia. They, of course, are barred from participating, and we all know why. Enhanced character screening for all high-performance players was among a slate of remedies Hockey Canada announced in an action plan last month. The 25 players named to the junior roster Monday participated in a code of conduct seminar that night that was delivered by Hockey Canada Director of Sports Safety Natasha Johnston. Another session on sexual violence conducted by the Calgary Communities Against Sexual Abuse was scheduled for Tuesday. Dave Cameron returns as Canada's head coach in a different scenario, without a selection camp and a major championship to be played mid-summer after the short camp. I could go on into the roster, but I won't. The only guy back from the team that won silver 2 years ago is the goalie Dylan Guerin. But, of course, Connor Bedard from God's team is there, and that's all we need. And somebody said to me this morning on Facebook, how do you think Canada's chances are? And I said, with Connor Bedard, you always have a chance. What's Canada's chances, Remps? This might be your favorite topic.
At the World Junior?
Yeah, this year.
Well, I think they got a very good chance, especially with Russia not being there. I mean, that takes one of the true contenders out of the equation. So I think that they have a very good opportunity, and I'm looking forward to seeing Connor Bedard play as well. But I don't get quite as caught up in the numbers when you beat teams like 16-1 and you get 8 points. I want to see what Connor does, and I'm confident that it will be positive. So I'm not one of these guys that's even at this point still not convinced. I am convinced, but I want to see what he does in the final, in the semifinal, and like the games against the real good teams. Then I want to see how he performs. But I think they're going to be a very, very good club. I don't see how they can't be in the final, frankly. I don't imagine, with Russia not being there, how they're not going to be one of the top two teams playing in that gold medal game. I just can't.
Generally always are, right?
And it's gotten it's a lot different. Remember when you and I were kids? It's almost like women's hockey now. It was a foregone conclusion that they were going to play Russia in the final of the gold medal game, right? It's not like that now. There's still some good teams: Finland, Sweden, USA.
USA thinks they're going to win it, and as last I checked, they're the reigning champions.
Yeah, so, they got a heck of a program there too. But I'm looking forward to it. Not quite as fired up as I am when it's over the new year. Not going to lie. But man, I'm excited.
Having been in Alberta, they are coming off the chain. for World Juniors in the summer. That, as we said, it's a hockey mad province.
How do you think it's going to translate attendance-wise?
Apparently great. And by the way, tickets are on sale now at hockeycanada.ca for as low as $40 starting. I think the attendance is going to be great. Again, they can't get enough hockey, which, like here in the rectangle, they can't get enough football, which we will move into point 6 here. Zach Caleros, breaking news from Wednesday morning. Zach Caleros, Dalton Schoen, and Jalen Acklin are the Canadian Football League top performers for July of the 2022 season. That was announced this morning. Zach Caleros had 1,061 passing yards in the month, 11 touchdown passes, and the Bombers went 4-0. Dalton Schoen, if we're saying that right, I know that's what they're saying on TSN, but is it not Danke Shane? Wouldn't it be Shane? Shouldn't it be Dalton Shane?
Ferris Bueller.
Darling Danke Shane. Yeah. In the month, 19 receptions for 367 yards. 5 touchdown passes, including 2 each in weeks 5 and 8. Dalton Schoen. I'm sure those jerseys are flying off the shelves in Winnipeg. And Jalen Acklin, my guy Jalen, he's a stud. I like him. Big fan of our show. 443 receiving yards for Ottawa on 21 receptions and 2 touchdowns in 4 matches. So those are the guys. Dalton Schoen, Jalen Acklin, and Zach Caleros. So, Rems, here we are, week 9. And our poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center with dealerships all across the prairies is, which is Canada's game of the week in the CFL this year? This week, it opens Thursday, Winnipeg at Montreal. Alouettes owner Gary Stearns guaranteed to win.
Okay.
Yeah, Montreal home to Winnipeg. Friday, Calgary at Ottawa in a rematch of the 2018 Grey Cup. And Saturday, a doubleheader, Hamilton at Toronto, Edmonton at BC. Last I saw, Ticats Argos leading, interestingly enough, with the Battle of Ontario. Through 8 weeks, maybe we'll start with the Riders. Are you still a season ticket holder?
I am not.
Okay. But you're watching.
I go to all the games.
But you're watching. Okay. So what's your take? What's your take?
As to which, on the game of the week?
On the Riders.
Okay. Well, you've played the majority of your games against Eastern Division opponents, and you're 4-4. So not real good, to be honest with you, Rod. I'm a little disappointed. Now, I also understand that the last couple of weeks there's been some injuries and there's a lot of other, the game against Toronto, I don't count that because you weren't going to win that football game. It's a miracle that you were even in it at the end of that
Touchdown
game.
Atlantic?
Yeah. Well, no, I was thinking about the game here where Cody didn't play, and it was just like every time you're looking on the field, you're going like, oh, who's he? Where did he come from? But I'm always a believer that, it's not really how you start, it's how you finish. And this is the one season where I think in a perverse, weird sort of way, their best opportunity to get to a Grey Cup might actually be to slide in through the East, get hot, play a couple of real good football games, and end up going through that way. Because I just don't think that they're as good as some of the other teams. Like, I don't think they're as good as Winnipeg or Calgary or BC from what I've seen. Now, that could change. It's a long football season, and they're not even close to being, coming down the stretch. But just from what I've seen with this team, I still have the same sort of concerns that I had last year. I just don't think they're disciplined enough. I love Craig Dickinson as a person. I think he's a great guy. I actually talked to Craig when my son was trying out for the U18 team in Saskatoon. And I just can't always help but think to myself, like, if there's a nicer human being on the planet than this guy, I'd like to know who it is. Raise your hand if you can think of a nicer man than that. Pro coaches are not usually like salt of the earth types. They're not. But he is. But I just feel sometimes like there's an element of discipline and I don't know. There's just something there that I don't like about the way that this team, not the coach necessarily, but this team goes about their business. And sometimes that stuff bites you. And I don't know. I'm not sold, I guess.
From the viewers regarding the game of the week, Don, our Navy friend, says it's Calgary, Ottawa. Can the Red Blacks build on the win? Will Calgary be dominant? My second team is the Red Blacks, so I will be watching. Don, who's kidding who? You'll be watching every game. From the Barflies in the chat, CFL attendance figures being massaged, or do my eyes deceive me? He's saying they're announcing big crowds but it doesn't look that way on TV. We mentioned our COO, Lee Genier. I don't think he'll mind me saying this. He was 20 years VP of Sales and Marketing for the Stampeders. And we sit and we chuckle, obviously, when I'm in Calgary, looking at these attendances. And we saw it with various teams we've worked with in the past, Rems. Let's just say that. When the owner goes, what's the number? Add 20%. It happens,
well,
right?
Yeah, the other thing, too, though, is there's been people that have come up to me and said, the Riders announced that there was 26,000 at that game. Give me a break. No, they announced that that was the paid attendance. That doesn't mean everybody showed up.
Yeah.
You know that the season tickets are generally sold between the 25 yard lines up till about 2/3 of the way up, and lots of those people weren't there, but they're all paid for. So
yes.
so they're not often lying. It's just that that's not how many people are in the building. But I will say this. When you watch some of those games from BMO Field in Toronto and they're announcing 8,000, are you kidding me? That would mean that 1 out of every 4 seats or 3.5 seats are full. There's not.
But you're just saying
1,000 people.
Maybe
there.
that's paid attendance. But here's my take, and listen, I'm starting to realize maybe I'm a little smarter than I ever thought, or people ever gave me credit for. 20 years ago, when they started announcing paid attendance rather than actual attendance, I remember thinking, that's worse, because a third of this crowd is saying, I'll give you the money, but I don't even want to come watch you.
I can't give my tickets away.
It's worse.
Yeah.
It's actually worse.
Psychologically, it is.
To announce paid attendance.
Yeah.
So, listen, and I don't even have as much energy or gusto for that discussion as I used to do. The CFL clearly isn't going to fold, or it was going to. So I'd rather just enjoy the games and talk about what's going on the field, and I think that's what people want too. When we come back, a sports update, more with Remps, your comments as well, because they've been good. Coming up in hour 2, Rob Vanstone and Diamond Dante de Caria.
He's an Italian.
A man who gave himself a nickname, and it fits. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Give yourself a nickname.
Yeah. Well, he's a different breed.
Who gave you the nickname Silver Fox?
James Gallo.
Okay, we'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus TV. We're also live streaming on YouTube. And you can always catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino dancing.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
The only bad thing is that the time's going too fast with the Silver Fox, Kelly Remple. Would you agree?
Always. It
Yeah.
feels like you do an hour and it feels like 20 minutes.
I know. I need to slip in a sports update here, of course. Vin Scully, the voice and heartbeat of the Los Angeles Dodgers, has died at his home in Hidden Hills, Los Angeles area at the age of 94. For years, he served as a national TV and radio announcer of baseball, golf, and football, but was best known as the voice of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Kevin Gausman allowed one hit and struck out 10 over 8 masterful innings as the Toronto Blue Jays opened a 9-game road trip with a 3-1 win over the Tampa Bay Rays on Tuesday. The Jays have won 11 of 13 and increased their lead over Tampa to 4 games for the top American League wildcard spot. In Edmonton, Oilers great Kevin Lowe is retiring from his position in the team's front office. Lowe has spent more than 40 years with the Oilers, working most recently as the club's vice chair and alternate governor. This sports update is for Edo Japan. Edo Japan's fast and friendly service, plus online ordering options, are easy and convenient when you're on the go.
Have
Edo
I mentioned
Japan.
how much I love
What's your go-to at Edo Japan? Tell me.
I like the tapenaki, teriyaki chicken, tapenaki, like the beef. My son usually, or the combos.
You get
too.
a bento box, or what do you?
Sometimes
Yeah.
I like the spring rolls too.
Variety is the spice of life, yes.
Yeah, but it's always the teriyaki chicken for me.
From the
extra sauce too.
Me, I always order 2 teriyaki, then I'm always up at the counter going, can I just get another one? From Janelle, she says, Vin was the voice of baseball, let alone the Dodgers. Hashtag legend. Let me just say this about Vin. I never met the man, but the Rough Riders for a number of years had a spring camp at Dodger Town in Vero Beach, Florida. And Remps, when you walk into Dodger Town, which is like a campus, that's where all the prospects came, right? Spring training was held there. Mm-hmm. Right in the reception was a gigantic oil painting of Vin Scully. Not Tommy Lasorda, not Kirk Gibson, not Sandy Koufax, the broadcaster, Vin Scully. And I'm sure that it still hangs there. I was by Vero Beach not that long ago. And I love that movie. One of my favorite movies is For the Love of the Game. It's my favorite Kevin Costner movie. And Vin was the voice of that. So, yeah, we all have our Vin. When you think of Vin Scully, what do you think of?
He's the only baseball broadcaster ever that I would watch a game between two teams I had absolutely zero emotional vested interest in.
Yeah.
But I would listen just to listen to Vin Scully call baseball. So what does that say? When you're tuning in...
There's not a lot of guys like that.
When you're tuning in to listen to the broadcaster and you couldn't care less about the game, what does that say? That's how good that guy was.
There aren't many like that.
So easy to listen to. You could just listen to him tell stories all day. I'd pay $1,000 to just sit for a few hours 10 hours or a whole day and just listen to him tell stories.
And that's just probably on the diamond stories. I often think about a guy, I'm like, imagine the things he's seen.
Oh, for sure.
In his 60-plus years or whatever it is. Maybe it's 70 years with the Dodgers. So condolences to the Scully family, but that guy leaves with no regrets, and what an absolute legend. I guess we could get into viewer takeover a little early here. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says, is Kadri going to the Islanders? Oh, boy. Between Week 9 and the CFL, the MLB trade deadline, I completely forgot to even think about free agency in the NHL, although there are some guys out there. PK Subban still hasn't signed. Kadri's one. We did kind of cover off free agency a bit as far as it relates to the Calgary Flames. From the Barflies. Here, this ticks me off, actually. From the Barflies. Kelly can see the comments, too. He says, there's still hope, RP. What's your best side for a painting? I actually took a photo of that Vin Scully, and I put it on one of my social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter. And some loser responds and goes, you're only putting that up because you want a painting of yourself in the office. Blah, blah, blah. What? Who thinks like that? How damaged are you? Anyways, from Steve-O's channel, you got to tell me Steve-O channel, I think is in Toronto, watching, says, hey, Rod and crew, the camera looks so good. Yes, we're back in the bunker, and I don't know the technical side of things at all.
Me
at
neither.
all. No.
On anything.
I talk into the microphone. That's about all that I'm responsible for. We got a big staff, as you've seen, taking care of everything else. So it is nice to be back in the bunker for a week before we head to the World Juniors to so they can try out all their new toys, okay? I wanted to say this, by the way. Well, and we'll get to that. Jason in Red Deer watching says, Kelly, any surprises so far in the CFL this season? Before we answer that, with Gary Stern, the owner of the Alouettes, who was on our show a couple weeks ago, basically guaranteeing a win for the Alouettes over the Blue Bombers this week, I'm thinking between Gary Stern and Bo Levi, the personality I like. I think Gary probably should deactivate his Twitter account, but he's not going to. So it's kind of fun. It's giving us stuff to talk about.
100%. And what's wrong? And by the way, what is wrong with a passionate owner of any league, much less in this league? What possible harm can there be? I mean, we're used to owners that buy teams that don't even want to own them. They just do it as a tax write-off because they feel sorry for them, so they buy the team. This guy's passionate about it, wears the jersey at the games. He's fired up all the time. I love it myself.
I think it's good too, but I mean, come on. You said it earlier. I said, Gary Stern's guaranteed to win, and you're like, sure.
Well, it's marketing. I'm all for it. That's marketing 101. Who cares if you win or lose? If sometimes when you lose, you win because you guarantee the win, and if you don't win, everybody gets a free ticket. So it's just all marketing. It's not an insult. I remember years ago, teams used to be offended by that. There's like, what? They're guaranteeing a win against us.
The Pats did it this year, and didn't it cause quite a stir?
Yeah, we caused a stir of it for having fun, but the players don't care. They do it because it's marketing. That's what it is. It's a way. Every single time a team has a guaranteed win night, they probably get 3 times the amount of discussion about their game than they do on a non-guaranteed win night.
That's what people don't understand. John Schmeiser, watching in Kansas City, says, is Gary Stern putting his team in a bad spot by predicting a win? Love the enthusiasm and passion, though. From Wayne in BC, we need more owners like Stern. Honestly, we'll talk about this when we come back. He was so dejected after their loss last week in Hamilton. If you go back and look at his tweet after the game, I felt like saying, can Gary Stern own every team? Because he just fell on his sword and put it on Twitter. You know what I mean? I felt bad for the guy. So all of that when we come back for Viewer Takeover. For Taco Time, we'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus TV. Also, YouTube live streaming and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Laid back and kicking it. Let's head back to the studio. Here's
All right,
Rod.
we are back here in the bunker, as you can tell. Only one more segment left with the Silver Fox. If you want to talk to this guy, you really want to talk to him, get your comments in now. You just saw, for those watching, John Lynch and I in the Big Bird, my yellow Jeep. Talk to Lynch. Rumors of his health have been greatly exaggerated. He's had a health issue here. He was in the hospital, but he's now home and he's fine. I'm going to see him this week. Lynch is fine. But the last I talked to him, and can you attest to this, Kelly? You being here in the rectangle, the heartland of the CFL. I called Lynch a couple weeks ago. Riders had only lost, I think, one game at that time. Now it's 3 in a row. I said, how are things, Lynch? Everybody's pissed off. Regina's a mess. And it all had to do with the football team. You can attest that the fortunes of the town are directly tied to the fortunes of the local pro football team.
Oh, yeah, 100%. PJ Morris from Universal Collision Center said that. There's one reason I cheer for the Saskatchewan. This was a while ago. There's the biggest reason I cheer for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and it's got nothing to do with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, is because when they win, everybody's in a great mood. When they lose, everybody's in a terrible mood.
And it's
true.
Where they are right now.
Yeah.
So around the horn we go regarding owners. Where is it? James Henderson in Border, Manitoba says, I love Gary Stern. Good for the team and the CFL. From John in Edmonton, Mark Cuban is a fun owner in the NBA, which is funny because Kelly brought him up in the break. John Massey, my frenemy in Edmonton, Oilers fan, says, how long before La Police gets La Punted out of Ottawa? And he says, hashtag the 13th man was his fault. No, it wasn't. And actually, Lapo, who is like family to me, is rather... Can I speak for him by saying he's upset that TSN keeps showing the clip of him slamming his headphones, Rems? Because it wasn't him.
No,
he was just mad that they lost.
Kavis Reed was the specialty team's coach.
Nobody knows
You can't blame the offensive coordinator for the 13th man. Come on.
My buddy Kevin Hughes, he's a BC Lions fan in Airdrie, Alberta. He says, by far, the BC Lions are the surprise of the CFL. Be a Lions fan since I can walk and talk. This team is the best I have seen in a decade. Something flashed across the screen of one of the networks the other day. The Lions are now, what, 5-1, I think?
5-1.
And it was like the best start since, and then it slipped off the screen. So, Kevin, you tell me how great of a start is. It's been a long time, but how long? And I'm so happy for them. Rick Campbell, good guy. Neil McAvoy, at least as good a guy. The co-GM's there. And what I'm seeing you see the Lions fans? Have you noticed they're coming off the mat? Yeah. It didn't take much to get them back.
Yeah. And I would say that, somebody had asked my opinion on that, and I would say BC would be my choice as well for the biggest surprise. But I think you got to give an honorable mention to the Calgary Stampeders. I didn't think that they'd be as good as they are.
Really?
No, I didn't. I thought they'd be better. But, you could certainly make an argument that they're right there with BC as the second best team. That's an organization that they're not going to be down for long. You always just kind of get the feeling that they've got such good people running that organization. They're always, they might be down for a bit. And over the last, 3 decades, they really haven't been. But, yeah, you knew that they'd be back. But I think the Stamps are a pleasant surprise as well.
Kevin Hughes says 2011, I believe. No, it can't be. Because they were 1-5 in 2011. And people still reference that. Last minute of play in the RP show. Last minute of play. 5-1 is their best record since and I can't remember what it is. I saw this article in 3 Down the other day saying, stop referencing the 2011 BC Lions for their 0-5 start and going on to win the Grey Cup. And I love 3 Down, and I don't know who wrote the article. No, we're not going to stop referencing the 2011 BC Lions. It's one of the greatest stories in sport. Every team that has a crappy start references the BC Lions, right?
Yeah.
That they're an inspiration.
Yeah.
It's a 30 for 30 episode. 30 seconds. We're on the air. 30 seconds are left, Remps. What else do you have for us? Anything?
What? Oh, boy. Not really. Looking forward. I was having drinks at Earl's yesterday with my good friend Jason Ripplinger.
J-Rip.
And we were just talking about how it's crazy, but WHL camps
are starting right away.
Actually start up in 3 weeks.
Thanks for coming down.
Crazy stuff.
RV and Diamond Dante next hour.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, it's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The trade has gone down. The San Diego Padres are finalizing a deal to acquire superstar outfielder Juan Soto.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It was a big piece, and I know that Jays fans are just waiting for the team to do something. I'd say be patient, but this team is also trending in the right direction as it is.
Keep Juan Soto out of the American League East, and the Blue Jays can deal with him come World Series time. How about that?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is, and hello, Canada. Good afternoon to those in the East, and good morning to those of us out here in the West, and to our viewers in the United States. Howdy do. Welcome to Hour 2. We are in the bunker, here in the rectangle, the sweatpants capital, and the heartbeat of the CFL. Hey, you see RV? It's the sweatpants capital.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The esteemed Robert Vanstone. You're working out after this. You're keeping the, that's why you got this the sweat material on, right?
Well, working out in probably the broadest sense, I'm taking the dog for a walk around Wascana Lake.
Good for you.
The dog is taking me for a walk around Wascana Lake.
One of the wonderful Regina activities, right? Walking Wascana Lake.
Oh, it's great. I love it. And for the last year, we've been able to go in both directions, which is, I never thought I'd appreciate going counterclockwise around the lake, but it's still, and there's still a neat novelty to that after
Just
the restrictions we lived under. So
last hour, this is going to go by far too fast because something just reminded me. I was walking around the lake with Jared Dumba, our hockey analyst, a summer or two ago, and I got the line from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. People were yelling at us, "You're going the wrong way!"
Oh, yeah.
I missed the signs.
I was obedient.
Except, we weren't, believe it or not.
I was obedient, except one time I forgot something in the car, so I had to backtrack. As opposed to going all the way around the lake or 3/4 of the way around the lake to get something out of the car, I went in reverse and somebody reprimanded me. So
you got it too.
Yeah, I got it too.
Speaking of obedient, I can't believe this dog Candy. She was all over the place. She was looking around, unreal. This dog's got quite a spirit in her.
Oh, she's beautiful.
The second the cameras came on, she just boop. Chill.
Yeah, she's.
What's the deal?
I don't know. she's just, as long as there's somebody petting her and as long as there's people loving her, she's totally calm. And when she comes in, she loves meeting new people. About 15 months ago, she was the most terrified, timid dog ever. The people at the Regina Humane Society did such amazing job with her. It was basically a veterinarian that spent 4 days glued to her side and helped to socialize her. And then we got her as a foster dog, and she was a foster dog for less time than we've been doing this segment. We're keeping her, we love her, and she just loves people, and she just likes to chill.
Leader Post award-winning columnist Rob Vanstone here. Can
I tell you about my award?
Please do.
I've won one award in my life.
See?
They gave me a plaque, and they called me Rod Vanstone. I think they thought I was you.
How about that?
Yeah.
Who's they?
I don't want to reveal them because it's...
Tell me in the break, please.
I'll definitely tell you during the break, but somebody started a burner Twitter account for me.
Oh, no.
And they called it Rod Vanstone. So I took a picture of my plaque, and I gave it to them, and they used it for a...
that's
for a profile photo.
Well, and my point, by the way, great movie lines. The Barflies writes in and says, and your hand between two pillows. Planes, trains, and automobiles. We'll get to the sports, but I want to talk about dogs for a second.
Awesome.
I was visiting a very good friend of mine, I won't name him, in Calgary last week, and he's got a rescue. And listen, you knew my little dog Fergus. Remember my little Yorkie? I used to bring him in, and he'd do tricks for the
best
riders.
Party trick ever.
Remember his tricks? Anyways, Fergus,
little Yorkshire Terrier,
met an untimely death, and in 2008. And after that, I'm done. This has wiped me out. I can't have a dog again. And I'm staying with that. So I don't know as much about dogs. And certainly this new rescue thing. It's wonderful. But my friend, I don't want to name him because you would know him. But he said 3 and 3 with these rescue dogs. 3 days to assimilate, 3 weeks to do something else, and 3 months to be comfortable. Does that sound right? You said 4 days with the vet. Have you heard this 3 and 3 thing with rescues?
I haven't heard 3 and 3 since I looked at my report card 40 years ago. I haven't heard that, but it does.
Sounds about right.
It sounds like just kind of systematically flicking on switches. And there was really no consistency to the timetable, but we put her in the back of the car when we adopted her from the Humane Society. And we were halfway around the ring road to our home, and she was trying to butt in between the 2 front seats because she was licking our faces. I was trying to drive, and she was licking my face. And 10 minutes earlier, she was the most terrified dog in the world in the back seat of the car. And we had to drag her into the car. But she just wanted somebody to love her.
Yeah.
Because she hadn't had that for the first 8 to 12 months of her life. She'd
Dog
been neglected.
People, tell me if this is true, but C told me 3 days to get unterrified, maybe? 3 weeks to feel comfortable, and 3 months to feel part of the family.
And 3 seconds to take over our condo and act like she owned it. It was amazing.
I'm very impressed with her demeanor right now. Yours, we're working on. Hers, very good.
She's had her shots, I haven't.
To the viewers,
Candy.
comment. Oh, yeah, now I'm buttering her up, and now she wants to. That's fine. She knows that I'm switching over this.
Where are you going?
Well,
we've lost our special
She
guest.
can roam as long as she doesn't hit the cameras. So let's. Do you want to talk to some of the viewers, RV? If you don't mind?
Absolutely.
We're going to start Taco Time viewer takeover a little early. We're talking about, fans of other teams are chiming in with the Rough Riders mess. They love it, right? Teams lost 3 games.
They must be reveling in
this. The
this.
other fans love that the facts the Rough Riders have lost 3 in a row. Dougal Cameron's watching in Calgary. He's a Stamps fan, and he says Craig Dickinson doesn't have the equivalent of Huffnagel to help him. He doesn't have the leadership that Huffnagel provides. That is what Dougal Cameron says. Robin in Prince Albert says, not a bad way to start the day. Josh Manson in PA with the cup. And he sent a photo. Clark, I don't know if you can pull that up from the text line. We have a photo. Josh Manson has the Stanley Cup in Prince Albert today. It's going to be here in the Sweatpants capital Thursday, Saskatoon Friday. Terry Livermore writes in, and he's watching Calgary. He says, regarding the World Juniors, I heard you say that you were involved in the broadcasting in 2012. I was a team host that year, which means team gopher, really. I was with Team Latvia 24/7 for 3 weeks, had a blast. Ted Nolan was hanging with us, too. Oh, I could sit and tell 2012 World Junior stories forever. But here's one question.
Love Ted Nolan.
Oh, he's the best.
Oh, he's great.
This year's World Juniors, I've been asked, what are Canada's chances? It's Canada. We always have a great chance. Clark has the photo. Okay, throw it up, Clark, if you don't mind. This is from Robin in Prince Albert. His family went down, and there you go. with the Stanley Cup today, and Josh Manson in Prince Albert.
Sweet.
Oh, man, that'd be the best day in PA for a very long time. Squirrel moment, where was I? What was I talking about? You probably don't remember.
I was watching my dog roam the studio.
What was I talking about?
Candy, come here.
Welcome to a moment in my life. Tell me what I was talking about. Canada.
Canada.
Nicholas writes in, he's watching in the chat and says, Rod, get the Bedard jersey back. I can't. I gifted him to a guy in Calgary. I can't be that. I can't get it back. As long as we got Bedard, we're going to win it all, right?
It's a lot to ask of someone who just turned 17, but my goodness, he just keeps playing at a level that would seem to be incommensurate with his age. And that's about the only thing that intrigues me about this World Juniors, is just seeing Connor Bedard play again, because it's an absolute joy to watch him play. It's going to be a watered-down tournament, and it's certainly off-cycle in terms of the time of year, and with the specter of the Hockey Canada scandal hovering over it, I think there's a lot to detract from it, but I'm going to enjoy watching Connor Bedard. I'd watch Connor Bedard any chance I could get. Watch him play hockey, it's just a treat.
The tournament starts next week, and we're going to be live at Rogers Place doing our show there, and I can't wait. But he would be a reason to buy tickets, and you can buy them now at hockeycanada.ca, starting as low as $40. He's the kind of guy that fans are going to want to say, I watched him win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's not a lot of guys like that we've seen.
And the opportunities are pretty finite to watch Connor Bedard without paying. Now, World Junior tickets aren't cheap, but this is a year from now, just over a year from now, people are going to be paying through the nose to watch Connor Bedard play hockey. And you can go see him play at the Brandt Center or various arenas around Western Canada for $20, $25. Yeah, it's just, it really is something to see. Even if it's an intra-squad game, I think you have to seize that opportunity, because there just won't be a lot of chances to watch this at a level where the players are that accessible and that easy to really admire before they go on to playing games outside of this province.
Jumping around somewhat, but I'm okay with that. Stephen, watching in North Dakota, says, are Johnny Gaudreau Flames jerseys still a fair prize? A fair prize at the Queen City X? I don't know. We'll have to get down there and have a look. I'm not sure. From Brady, he says, hey, Rod, it's Tom Brady's 45th birthday today. Happy birthday, Tom Edward Brady. No sign of slowing down for him. He says the Blue Jays continue to play well under John Schneider, and the game today against the Rays is underway. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was an 11:30 Eastern start. I forgot, because I was watching the Jays game last night. The announcer said, do you want to just stay in the stadium? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Pat Tabler and Matt Devlin was doing the game. Why is Matt Devlin doing the game? He's awesome. Follows me on Twitter, but I'm just wondering, where was Buck?
I was watching Jacob deGrom and the Mets last night.
And Brady says the NFL is back this week with preseason getting underway Thursday night. It's an absolute buffet.
It really is. And as much as I don't like seeing summer ebb away, as that happens, the switches start to go on. The Regina Thunder's about to start. Prairie Football Conference. We're going to get into the NFL pretty soon. NHL training camps. And then October, if you love sports, the greatest month ever is October. I mean, it's just
I still think
all
it's
happening.
May Stanley Cup playoffs, but that's just me.
You know, but you get everything in October.
Yes, but I only want the Stanley Cup playoffs, so I'm okay with it.
I'm a Jets fan, so it evaporates pretty quickly. In my case,
it's 11:11 Mountain, by the way. The opportunity portal's open. Be aware of your thoughts, and we are.
Can I weigh in on a comment somebody made about Craig Dickinson?
Yeah.
I think Craig Dickinson has been the leader that should be actually emulated in this organization, in the Rough Rider organization, as opposed to one who's being maligned. He's the one who's had to stand up and deal with the media and take all the bullets that have resulted from the mess that was Touchdown Atlantic, from the Garrett Marino incident, from four-game losing streak. Since that time, Craig Reynolds, the president and CEO, has been available to the media only once. Jeremy O'Day, the general manager, has been available only once, whereas Craig Dickinson and Cody Fajardo have stood there day after day after day answering for this. So I think actually the leadership demonstrated by Craig Dickinson is something that is actually admirable, as opposed to something that should be maligned. I want to get that in.
You've never lived anywhere else, have you?
Lloydminster for 101 days in the fall of '86.
Okay. Sask side or Alberta side?
Alberta side.
Okay.
In a basement suite.
I would think in 101 days it didn't give you the opportunity to look back in on the Rider Nation. And it's admirable, and I respect the love for it, but it's too much. It's too much. Somebody said to me the other day, what does Craig Dickinson do at the end of the day? Like when he goes home? Does he have a nervous breakdown? What does he do? And I said, to be honest, knowing Craig as well as I do, and I know him very well, he's probably the best equipped guy.
Oh, absolutely.
To deal with coaching here, because he does unplug and he gets all the things that he needs to, but that doesn't, like I haven't talked to him since the off season, but it's too much because they want Jason Maas fired. They wanted Fajardo out of town, as you know. It's just, it's hard to deal with.
I mean, any Rider season, there's going to be pressure. But then when you factor in the Grey Cup being held in Regina this year, and the fact that the team started 4-1 and is now 4-4, and even their last victory was tainted by the Garrett Marino mess. My dog is growling.
Somebody's at the door.
And it intensifies it, and everybody is getting blown up. And I understand that's the nature of professional sports, but in the case of Craig Dickinson, what he is being asked to do, trying to tape this together with a defensive line where you're missing 3 starters, with a offensive line that probably needs 5 new ones, with a quarterback who is injured and still playing, with a receiving core that's been absent, Duke Williams, for 2 games, 1 due to injury, 1 due to suspension, and then when he plays, there's too many drop passes, and I think you can factor Jason Maas into this as well. I don't know what realistically people expect of people, and Cody Fajardo, the feedback on Cody. I mean, people should be applauding what he is doing right now, playing behind that offensive line, playing without a crucial element of his game, that being the mobility that is normally such an asset for him and for the Rough Riders offense, and I mean, risking his career every time he goes out there because his knee is an obvious liability, and everybody in the league knows that it's his left knee that's got medial collateral ligament damage, and he's got a brace on it, and he's going out there and being such a gamer, and then people are just dissecting Cody. I've seen it with Ronnie, I've seen it with Darian Durant, as did you, Ken Austin, the Grey Cup winning Kerry Joseph. The quarterbacks here get ripped apart, and they get paid very well for the privilege of being ripped apart. But I wish there was some perspective here. Cody Fajardo, I think I admire him more than I did in his previous seasons with the Rough Riders, considering what he's doing with the encumbrances that are in front of him.
The attitude, just simply for me, because people aren't going to change, is distasteful. And I didn't think there would ever be a day that they would turn on Cody Fajardo, given what he's done. This quarterback from Brea, California, because I see we've got viewers in California tuning in. Hello, Karen. She says, R.I.P. Vin Scully.
Yes.
We'll get to that there's a lot of comments coming in on RV's hat as well. Do you get comments, like I have a beautiful Expos hat. I think I'm going to dig it out today. Do you get comments on that every day when you want
if I wear the Expos hat, I always get comments.
Yeah.
Any other hat, I swear I could wear a Make America Great Again cap,
Mega
and
hat.
nobody would say anything. But, well, they might. But it's the Expos comments. It's always thumbs up. It's always, we're with you. It's like this... It's like this fraternity of people who just, I get you. We miss them. I love them. Long live Steve Rogers.
I miss them too. We are jumping around. We're going to continue to jump around. When we come back.
I'm older than I know that song.
Crisscross with the esteemed Robert Vanstone, the 3rd best writer in his house. You're watching on Game Plus Television. We're live streaming on YouTube, and you can always catch the podcast wherever you find your podcasts, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
We're back live in the bunker. Look at this wonderfully behaved broadcaster and writer, Rob Vanstone, and his dog, Candy, at his feet. I just can't get enough of Candy.
Candy is trained. I can't say the same for her master.
Yeah, I love it, man. Great to see it.
She's so good.
Hey, a sports update. Lefty Yusei Kikuchi is on the mound for the Blue Jays. Do you want to give me an update, Clark? What's going on there against the Tampa Bay Rays in a day game? They must be about, what, third or fourth inning? 2-1 Blue Jays in the fourth inning. And the Blue Jays are in flight, Jerry.
I never get sick of that.
Me.
I loved listening to that. Tom and Jerry. Oh, I used to listen to their games on Weyburn, CFSL 1190. I would ride my bike. This is before you could listen to everything on a phone, and I'd take my little Walkman transistor along and listen to Blue Jays games.
It doesn't get better.
I loved baseball. I don't know what it is, but baseball on radio, I like it more than baseball on TV. Mm-hmm. The MLB app, you can listen to every broadcast.
And
every
they're all
broadcast
very
team.
Good.
And I don't know, it's just a nice companion.
We are getting somewhat sidetracked. I said that we'd whatever you want to talk about, we're game, but I'm not quite done yet. Forward Mason McTavish of the Hamilton Bulldogs has been named Canada's captain ahead of the upcoming World Juniors in Edmonton. Canada opens the tournament August 10th against Latvia at Rogers Place. We'll be there, and we'd love if you were too. The 10-country tournament will be minus Russia, which is barred from participating by the AAHF because of that country's invasion of Ukraine. Edmonton is hosting the World this summer. World Juniors back from August 9th to the 20th. Purchase your tickets today, hockeycanada.ca, and we'll see you there. Come on up and say hi. And bring the thrill of the track to your fingertips with Woodbine's Dark Horse Bets app. Its AI-powered insights and strategies help you make smarter bets. Straight out of the gate, feel the excitement of live-streamed horse races wherever you go. Download the app for free at playdarkhorse.com, available for Android and Apple devices. So again, whatever you want to talk about, a lot of comments coming in on Vanstone's Expos hat. Now, what we should tell folks is that you are a Yankees fan.
Actually, I flipped and became a Mets fan.
But still New York.
I love New York. I went to a Mets game in 2013. My wife went to a Broadway show that night. So I went to a Mets game. I went out to Citi Field. And I've never been treated better by a sports organization as a fan in my life.
Wow.
It was just the most beautiful evening. And Matt Harvey was pitching and he threw a gem. But I went to the ticket counter and I said, I want to spend like I want a ticket for $20. This guy spent 10 minutes trying to find me the best seat I could get me for $20.
That's amazing.
And and I was talking to the guy. I go through the gate. Everybody's friendly. The usher showed me to my seat. The concession people acted like my best friends. And then I saw a beautiful game on a lovely night in New York. And it flipped me instantly from a Yankee fan to a Mets fan.
Wow.
It was just...
How about that?
It was just such a wonderful evening.
I went to the Rangers box office in New York and asked for a ticket, and they laughed at me. That also is a true story. Well, on the baseball, then Glenn Erickson watching in Medicine Hat.
Hi, Glenn.
He
It's been a long
says,
time.
love the Expos. Great logo. Is it possible I'm the only guy on the planet who took a while to figure out that's a letter M?
No, I didn't realize that until I read some book that described the origin of the Expos logo. And I looked at it and I thought, I'd never seen the M in there. I saw the little swirl. I saw the bat. I saw the E, but I never saw the M for the first 45 years that
I didn't until today, and I still kind of don't.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
it's such a great logo when you look at all the.
When the Nationals won the World Series, and I did not expect to get into this discussion today, but why not?
It did nothing for me. Not a thing.
It made me sad.
It made me sad. I had no positive emotion. Like my great friend Ian Hamilton, he followed the Expos to Washington and was very happy about it. But I was very upset yesterday when the Nationals beat the Mets.
Right. Well, I was like, I'm like, that's my team out celebrating.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel good.
It's
not the Expos anymore.
It's like, I wonder what Quebec Nordiques fans did when Colorado wins.
Probably felt the same way. They're probably mad.
Do you like seeing your old girlfriend get married to somebody else? It's probably not the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah, I guess.
And I'm not sure if that's a precise analogy or not, but
it's yours, and we'll take it. From Craig Smith, our director of scouting, he says, "Great food at Citi Field."
Oh yeah.
Hashtag
the food
Shake
court
Shack.
is so great.
Yeah. Again, the man can speak of many topics.
Not knowledgeably, but I can talk.
We had a question come up a few weeks ago on what is the NFL's dark horse team, and a voice in my head rang out. First thing it said, Denver Broncos. What do you think about that? In the toughest division of the National Football League.
I mean, finishing third in that division might be an accomplishment. I remember in 1985, the Broncos finished 11-5 and missed the playoffs. I wonder if that's the kind of division we're going to be talking about again this year. Or if you're just going to get a lot of teams winning 10 or 11 games, even 9, because they just take turns of beating each other. The record might not be actually indicative of the caliber of the team, because any of the 4 teams in that division, I think, can beat each other. Kansas City, suddenly they don't have Tyreek Hill. They're not the same. I don't think they're going to be the same juggernaut. And Travis, Kelce's almost 30. Is going to be 33 very soon. So that could fall apart pretty quickly. Or not fall apart, but they could kind of gravitate down to the level of some of the other teams. Tim Patrick suffered a season-ending knee injury in training camp yesterday with the Broncos, and that kind of left me a little disillusioned. But I really wonder what Russell Wilson can do there, not only as a quarterback, but as a presence and a leader, because they've been missing everything that Russell Wilson brings to the table.
It's right around the corner. It's very exciting.
Yes.
From Jason in Red Deer, he says the Expos logo is actually MEB, which stands for Montreal Expos Baseball.
Jeff, I never knew that.
He says, that really blew your minds. He's got to have a look at it now.
Eureka.
Eureka. Man, I don't know where to go from here. I feel like I'm standing at the bridge of a bunch of roads here.
This is a gas.
Yeah, it's fun, eh? Gino DePauli, watching in Okotoks, he says, all 4 teams from the AFC West could make the playoffs with the extended playoff format. And that helps. Janelle, watching, says the Chiefs are the biggest waste of talent. Could have been a dynasty.
Who owns the Chiefs?
Who owns?
Owns.
Look at all the NFL commentary that's coming up. By the way, Gino wanted to know. By the way, I'm not giving Tim Hortons any free advertising till they buy some. Gino wondered what's holding up my laptop. It's my golf ball basket. In case you wanted it. First quality, by the way. Mixed 50 golf balls.
Beautiful.
Nothing but the finest for this show.
And guests wearing sweats and T-shirts.
Well, again, you're going to work out after this. Oh. This might be a bad sign for the CFL. From Farmer in Saskatchewan is the name, and you can see it on the screen there, Rob. He says, so what did the Browns do for 6 games without Deshaun Watson? We're a Canadian sports show, and all the comments just went nuts for the NFL.
Yeah.
That should scare the bejeepers out of the CFL.
Well, it's funny because I'm reminded I spent some time with my godson and his friends over the Christmas holidays. We were just sitting around chatting. And this was back in the spring when he had kind of a gathering, kind of a pre-wedding gathering. He's getting married in September. And so all his buddies were there. And they were probably talking football for a solid hour. Not a word about the CFL. And these are all guys in their late 20s, early 30s. The kind of demographic the CFL is going right after. And it was an engrossing football conversation for at least an hour, not one word about the Canadian Football League. And so I chimed in and I said, do you guys even follow the Canadian Football League? No. And these are all sports fans.
In Saskatchewan.
These are young sports fans in Saskatchewan.
In Saskatchewan.
And conversation being held in Saskatchewan. And there wasn't a word about the CFL. And they looked at me like I had an antler when I even mentioned the Canadian Football League. Do I have an antler? No, I have an antler.
No, you don't.
And I could hang my hat on it. And that to me was really, really alarming. And the NFL discussion, and I'm not one of these NFL versus CFL guys. I don't think nobody should have to choose. Enjoy the steak and the lobster. But when the CFL is doing everything or trying to get people into seats and improve its viability, it seems to me that the demographic that they're going after is increasingly disengaged.
So, and I have spent, as you know, a lot of time in Alberta, and the Stamps and the Elks, wonderful people, wonderful teams. I think it extends further higher than those teams. I hope it's not a losing battle, but they're certainly not winning it. They're certainly not winning it. And so, on that NFL topic, the answer to the question, what the Browns are going to do is go with Jacoby Brissett until the 6 games are over, which incidentally, 6 games, I was stunned that it wasn't a full season.
I was really surprised. And we're still waiting to hear if Roger Goodell is going to try and push for more games than that. 6 games, especially when you're looking at players missing the entire season in the case of Calvin Ridley, for betting. And we're not talking a flagrant Pete Rose type betting. You're looking at players missing more time than that for using marijuana, things like that. The initial suspension for Ray Rice was 2 games. That's the kind of ridiculous nature of NFL suspensions. And this one just seems to me to be, even in bringing down the judgment, the judge was very harsh, very candid about how terrible she thought those allegations were. But yet she cited precedent and said 6 games.
Well,
I can't believe it's not a full season.
I'm actually trying to, and I apologize, I follow so much sports, as do you. Roger Goodell, the commissioner, made a statement about one of these actions, whether it was Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, and the tampering, or the Deshaun Watson thing. But Goodell said this is the most egregious act we've ever investigated in the NFL. And I think he was referring to Stephen Ross.
Yeah.
And not the Deshaun Watson thing. They're both bad, but it seems like a forgettable offseason for the National Football League.
What was the initial Tom Brady suspension? 4 games for the ball deflation?
For Deflategate.
So how does initial suspension of 4 games, if you're looking at using that as a barometer, how do you not quadruple that for Deshaun Watson? And you look at the Daniel Snyder mess in Washington, and it just the disrespect for women that just seems to be institutionalized in the National Football League. It's just it's galling.
And the league keeps growing. So that what's scary about that is it has no effect on fans' appetite.
No, they want
for NFL football.
Roger Goodell has cited his goal of having a gross income revenues of $25 billion in a year, and they're well on their way.
So none of this is deterring people from watching NFL football. Is the point?
You know, we sit here and talk about all this, but then as soon as our fantasy draft kicks in, it seems for everybody the mindset just changes.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says young demographics following NFL and not CFL is an age-old issue. It was the same when I was young. Sure, so why bother?
But you know what?
Why bother?
When we were young, there was at least a CFL board game. There was a little spin the dial thing, 1 for pass, 1 for run, and 1 for kick. There was some form of Canadian football thing that would engage kids. Now they're all playing Madden. You know, my friend Cindy, her son Rob, he just got a PS5 and he's got Madden and he's pumped. And he goes to Rider games with his mom too, but he's really
not involved.
Really into this Madden thing, and the CFL isn't even in the ballpark there.
From Darren Steinke, he says, fun to see the show back in the bunker, even for a short time, but a good time with Rob Vanstone, Kelly Remple, and Mike Abu-Meshrik as guests. Oh, you hang on. All our rowdy friends are coming over. Jim Hobson tomorrow. Remember him? El Presidente. Derek Duke Myers, Wes Cates, Nick Lewis. They're all going to be by the time we pack up stakes and move. We're like the circus, and we are a circus. And we move on to Edmonton in a couple weeks' time.
But are they bringing pets?
You're the only one, and I appreciate you doing so. From Janelle, she says, lack of cojones on the part of the NFL. That's Spanish for testicles, just so you know.
How about that?
I'm not going to weigh in on that
Jennifer from the Four Seasons says he should have gotten the whole year. For sure. RV, we've reached the end of our time. I appreciate you coming in. I hope you had fun.
I love this. Let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, appreciate it, Rob. Thank you so much. They called me Rod. I'm going to call you Rob.
Robservations, free of charge. The man who gave himself his own nickname, Diamond Dante de Caria, coming in next. And you're not going to want to miss it. This is going to be great. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network. We're live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC. making back to busy easy.
The summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Hey, here we are. We're back on the air. Everybody, the 163rd running of the Queen's Plate is taking place Sunday, August 21st. A full day of the best Canadian thoroughbred racing. Great fashion, amazing food, and loads of fun. Get your tickets now at woodbine.com. We're going to have some special guests coming up from Woodbine. Between now and race date, you can also play along with Woodbine's Dark Horse Bets app, available for Android and Apple devices. Well, speaking of Toronto, I thought he was a Toronto guy. Diamond Dante Caria joins us. He's the voice of God's team, the Regina Pats, my very favorite team on the planet. Welcome, Dante.
Thank you for having me. It's been, I think, a long awaited.
Forever.
Right?
Yeah, it's been. I said to him, we've never been on the air together before.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, but you're going to clarify two things. One, you didn't give yourself your own nickname.
I did not give myself
So you got to tell me that story. And two, you're not from Toronto. I thought you were.
No, I'm born and raised in Ottawa, Ontario.
Okay.
My mother actually, born and raised in Italy, moved to Toronto. So most of my family is from Toronto, but we do have a lot of family scattered around.
So what do you tell people is your hometown?
Ottawa, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for our Eastern viewers, they just perked up and they all got very excited here on Game Plus television. I told this man he calls a hell of a hockey game. I told you that. Remember?
Thank you. You did tell me that. Yes.
Yeah, and you do.
Thank you.
And I very much enjoy listening to him call my favorite team's games. And before we talk about Connor Bedard, the next one, and the World Juniors and what this kid's really like, you said you had a story about us never being on the show together.
Well, when I originally got the Regina Pats job, one of my close friends, Matt, who's actually the assistant equipment manager of the Ottawa Redblacks now, he reached out to me. It wasn't to say, congrats, you're calling Connor Bedard's games. It was like, man, you get to go on the Rod Pedersen Show. Aren't you excited? And I'm like, yeah, I was excited at the time. And sure enough, a year later, I'm on. So I'm excited.
A year later. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been quite a year for all of us. We haven't been around a whole lot. But Dante, and at the Centennial Cup, timing didn't work out. You were there and we were there, but we couldn't get you on there. But here we are. And so let's start here. The man calls Connor Bedard's games. You've called every one of his major junior games. So somebody asked me this morning, and I've asked all our guests since that have come through, what are Canada's chances at the World Juniors? And I said, as long as we have Connor Bedard, we'll be fine. But is that saying too much?
No, I agree with you. I watched your show from the top of the hour. I mean, they have some other really talented players like Mason McTavish and Donovan Sabrango, who was named an assistant captain, and Kent Johnson, who had the opportunity to broadcast as a 17-year-old in the British Columbia Junior Hockey League. So I've seen a lot of those players. I've seen Mason McTavish being from Ottawa as well. Same with Donovan Sabrango. And, the list kind of goes on and on. But I think Connor Bedard is probably the guy that everybody is going to be watching, given that it is his draft year. It's potentially his final year of the Regina Pats. And for Pats fans, watching him on TV, you have an opportunity to watch him, here in the Queen City. 34 home games upcoming this season. Good opportunity to get your season tickets and stuff like that. So this is your last chance to see potentially Bedard in a Pats uniform this year.
It's interesting. I don't know where the moment was that the country got turned on to Connor Bedard. I would say the hockey world was turned on long before the rest of the country was. I think it was the World Under-18s in Texas 2 years ago.
I think I would agree with you. For sure, yeah.
Yeah, but he's the kind of kid that just sells tickets. Like, I would not steer you wrong, folks. You want to be in Edmonton at the World Juniors and watch him. Look what he did last year, breaking Gretzky's record. Well, what a shame it was the tournament got the plug pulled on it. Well, he was just getting warmed up.
Exactly. I mean, 4 goals in a game. But even going into this season with the Pats, I mean, he has an opportunity to win the MVP here in the Western Hockey League. Last year, he won the Eastern Division Player of the Year. He's probably going to be the unanimous MVP this year. There's no question. He had 100 points last year. Yes, he's going to play a little bit less games given, World Juniors in December and January, but I still think, he could score 120 points, 60 goals. I wouldn't put it past him.
So here's the thing. Early on in Connor's career, I think I interviewed him for the first time. He was 14.
Wow.
And people were telling me, Rod, you're putting too much pressure on him. And you said you started in this business at 16. I started this business at 16. Connor's started his business at 12. He really got on people's radar. I'm a big fan of just throwing somebody into the deep end and seeing whether they sink or swim. I just had the sense that I swam, you swam, Connor swam. He's actually doing laps at 14. You know what I mean? This kid can handle the pressure.
I see where and he really, the pressure doesn't faze him. He elevates in the moment. Look at last year. He needed 5 points to get 100, and he needed 1 goal to reach 50. And sure enough, he did both of those things in the final game of the regular season, which, boy, just thinking about that just gives me goosebumps. That was just an unreal moment. I mean, and to get the empty netter at the end for goal number 51 and point number 100 just kind of put the icing on the cake for sure.
I was watching it, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Jennifer says, so who is going to get the C for the Regina Pats? Will it be Connor Bedard, or who is your pick?
I mean, he's a leader on and off the ice, to be quite honest with you. Now, there are a lot of good leaders in that dressing room. They are losing Logan Nyhoff. They're losing Riker Evans. Luke Bateman, who was an assistant captain last year, comes back. He's going to have to be a leader. I'm not entirely sure who's going to be the captain, but, I mean, Connor Bedard is definitely going to be in the mix for sure.
So there's your Connor Bedard and Regina Pats update, but Diamond Dante, so you got to tell me who gave you the nickname Diamond. I thought you gave it to yourself.
No, I was, 16 or 17 years old. I was working for my whole family cuts hair, right? My mom's a hairstylist, my uncle, my cousin ran a barber shop in Ottawa. It was in downtown Ottawa, and Ottawa Senators used to come in and stuff like that. So I got to meet those guys, which was really cool as a kid. And then they said I was sweeping the floors, working the front desk, and they said, "Why don't you start shining shoes?" So sure enough, on the corner of the street, I was shining everybody's shoes while they were waiting for a haircut. And then CTV approached me and said, "We want to do a story on you." I said, "Sure." So I went on the morning live show, and then the producer came up to me, or I forget who it was, and said, "You don't have a nickname?" I said, "No." They said, "You need a nickname. This is boring."
Come on, that's
And then
great.
I'm like, "Sure, give me whatever you want." Sure enough, I turn on the TV the next day, and there it goes, Diamond Dante, and all my friends are coming up to me at school. "Where'd you get this name?" I said, "I don't know," and I just kind of stuck with it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And your
thank
Twitter
you.
handle is at Diamond
It
Dante.
is. Yeah, it's been that for many, many years now.
So, listen, just before we break, and we'll come back with viewer takeover and more with Diamond Dante, I think you would have some thoughts on the Blue Jays,
Yes.
right? So we'll get to that. But Kevin Olenek watching in the chat says, can you ask about Tanner Howe? And I will, for you junior hockey fans, which is my first love. I watched him at the World Under-18 camp. Now he made the team, which isn't a shock. Prince Albert kid, not very big. What can you tell us about Tanner Howe?
Oh, boy, I love Tanner Howe so much. He's just both him and Connor, fantastic people to deal with, in terms of my side of things. But just on the ice, you're talking about somebody who is a 200-foot winger. I had Ken Schneider, the assistant coach of the Pats last year, say that he reminded him a little bit like a Mark Stone or a Gordie Howe type player, just a junkyard dog type player, goes into the corners, goes into the dirty areas. For a little guy, he's got broad shoulders. He's got a little bit of weight on him. I'm actually curious to see for how much he grew and how much weight he put on this offseason. But, I mean, watching his goal last night for Canada in that victory was just exactly what you're going to get from Tanner Howe. Now, he did score 27 goals last year and 69 points, but he's a little bit more of a playmaker than a lot of guys give him credit. So I would, I see him as a little bit of a Jordan Wheel type player. A lot of people have actually told me that. Silver Fox was the first person who brought that up. And of course, Jordan, you called his games, but I would see him as a comparable in terms of a former Pat. Jordan Wheel would be my guy.
I can't imagine the points Jordan Wheel would have put up if he played with Connor Bedard.
Exactly, yeah.
It was pretty good.
Well, he had Eberle,
without
right?
him. He had Eberle, but with all due respect to Ebbs, and he knows what I'm saying. Hey?
What would he say?
He would agree.
Yeah.
He would agree. Just for those that don't know, I'm at a charity golf classic in Calgary 6 weeks ago. And this business, it's not any different than yours. I'm hooking up the broadcast gear on a wall. I'm on a step ladder, and I'm reaching behind the TV, and I hear this voice from down behind. He goes, need any help with that? I look down. It's Eberle. Jordan Eberle. I said, you're not tall enough. He liked that.
Seems like a great guy.
He's the best.
Seems like a fantastic guy.
Oh, yeah. That's the way we get along. Okay, we're going to end this show the way we opened it, talking Blue Jays. When we come back with Diamond Dante de Caria. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network. We're also live streaming on YouTube, 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big
summer of hockey in Alberta continues, and the future of Team Canada is bright. The 2022 World Juniors return to Edmonton August 9th to 20th. Single game tickets available from $40. Buy now at hockeycanada.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, we're back, and it is Viewer Takeover, lovingly brought to you by Taco Time. Real food, real value. Taco Time with over 120 locations across Canada. Just before we get to more with Diamond Dante, gear up, Alberta. The World Juniors are back in Edmonton, August 9th to the 20th. Tickets are on sale now for as low as $40. Buy yours now at hockeycanada.ca. And we haven't done this yet today. Here's our contest. Text World Juniors in all caps to the number on the screen, 902-518-3033, to be entered to win any regular tournament World Juniors game tickets of your choice. 2 winners will be picked every Friday. And here's the funny thing. All our winners are picking the same game. Did I tell you that? They all want to go to the same game. And the World Junior Committee said, no problem, we'll accommodate. That's the kind of folks that they are. So Diamond Dante with the Blue Jays. Are you like the legions that are saying they didn't do enough at the trade deadline yesterday?
No, I don't think so. The Whit Merrifield deal kind of, I don't know, that was kind of weird for me.
Let me back up for a second. This is why you're a Blue Jays aficionado. Did you intern with them or work with them? What's the story there?
So I interned 2017. I was a baseball communications intern. And then the next year, 2018, I went and called games for their Class A affiliate in Lansing, Michigan. And most of the players on that Lansing team have now been traded. 2 of them in which were traded yesterday, Maximo Castillo and Samad Taylor, were traded for Whit Merrifield. So hopefully they get an opportunity.
Is that why you're down on the deal?
Well, actually, I didn't want to be biased or anything, but I am a little bit down because, me and Maximo go way back. I really like Castillo. He's a great arm and he's a great person, and I really enjoyed my time with him.
So remove your feelings, because everybody's excited about the Merrifield deal, if he gets vaccinated.
It's a good deal, right? He can play lots of different positions. He led the majors in hits twice. He can play infield. He can play outfield. He's got a little speed under his belt as well. He can run. He's not bad defensively as well. I mean, it is a good trade. He's another right-handed bat. I know a lot of fans were looking for a left-handed bat. But to me, I thought pitching was what they probably should have went after. I really like the Zach Pop move. Bass, we know what he can do. He was with the Jays a couple of years ago. But Pop, a Brampton native, from Toronto. So that's going to be really exciting. It could be a 1-2 punch. 2 Canadian guys, your setup man and your closer in Romano. That's going to be exciting down in the future.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
But you are a baseball guy first, correct?
I would say so. I grew up, baseball probably be my number one love for sure.
So can you, because I asked Arash last week what John Schneider's done different, and he was very evasive. He's like, well, a lot of things from what Charlie Montoya was doing. What do you see to the naked eye, or maybe you know more than the most? What's he done?
Well, I never had the opportunity to work with John Schneider. I've never met him, but I know a lot of people that have played for him in the minor leagues and were broadcasters for him. And I mean, one of them, Rob Fay. Mm-hmm. Rob Fay was the voice of the Vancouver Canadians for a very long time, and John Schneider was the manager when they won the Northwest League Championship. And every person that I've talked to has said that John Schneider is just the salt of the earth kind of guy, and the players love playing for him. But he knows how to take it to another level in order to get the team going. While I was listening to your show off the top of the hour with Kelly Remple, Silver Fox, and you guys, had mentioned that Charlie Montoya was laid back, wasn't really kind of in your face kind of guy, and you're probably right about that. Whereas John Schneider, I think, can do both of those things. And again, he has a big connection with a lot of these players, Romano, Guerrero, Bichette, all those guys, because he managed them not only in the minor leagues, but to championships in the minor leagues, which I think goes a long way. And I'm really happy for John. Despite not meeting him, I've heard nothing but great things.
Well, if last night's game, it seems like a microcosm of what you hoped the Blue Jays would be. Gosman went deep. They got just enough run support late to pull it out and win. Can Can they win? Or are they just in too tough a division?
I think 1 through 3 or 1 through 4 in the rotation, they're good enough. Again, a lot of people have question marks with their bullpen. Anything underneath Romano, obviously we know what Jordan Romano has been, probably one of the top closers in MLB baseball this year. But again, what can you get from Adam Simber? What can you get from Pop and Bass and the rest of those guys in that bullpen? So to me, they needed maybe not a Josh Hader type reliever in the bullpen, but they definitely needed maybe a 1A, 1B kind of guy that can come in and maybe take a little bit of pressure off a guy like Simber and give Romano maybe a little bit of rest, because he's been pitching a ton this year, and no doubt he's done a great job.
Well, what's exciting is the whole country's turned on.
Right.
Right, and everybody's following the results. Everybody's watching the game, so we'll see how it all turns out. From the viewers, Ryan in Toronto says there's just something special about the bunker. Great show, Rod. From Terry Carrier in the chat, he says, love that you guys are back in the bunker. Heard about Lynch. Glad to hear he's fine. This is, again, the Don Cherry of football, who doesn't mind. He doesn't mind people knowing that he was hospitalized. It was a very small thing. And he's back home. And I'll be popping by to see him this week. But they love this guy, John Lynch. How long were you in town before you heard of this guy, John Lynch?
I don't know, maybe a month or so?
Yeah, not that long. The Don Cherry of football. And I guess when I say, when we wind this up the way we started it, the Regina Pats, what is the outlook for my favorite team on God's green earth for this season with Connor Bedard?
Well, I think they're a young team, and they've got some up-and-coming pieces. There's going to be a lot of young players that are going to have to step it up coming into this season. I'm looking at guys like Borre Vallis, Braxton Whitehead, Leighton Feist, Matthew Keeper, who's looking for a bounce-back year. I think that it was really nice that John Paddock added a veteran goalie in Cohen McInnes, who comes over. He played in Saskatoon 2 years ago, so he's somebody that has a little bit of familiarity with the Eastern Division. So they're an up-and-coming team. I do expect them to make the playoffs. I expect them to finish anywhere between probably 4 to 6, I would think, with Bedard in their lineup. But again, it really depends on how these young players step it up this year. Yeah, they're losing guys like Nyhoff and Riker Evans and so on and so forth. But again, it's really going to come down to how the young players that, Dale McMullen and John Paddock have drafted and developed really turn out this year.
Dante, it's been a year in the making, but you made it worth it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks also to RV, Candy, Kelly Remple. Tomorrow, El Presidente, Jim Hobson, and Derek Duke Myers. We'll see you at noon Eastern right here on Game Plus TV.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.